All right, everyone. Welcome once again to the Faces of Business. I am your host, Damon Pistolka, and I am excited for our guest today because we have none other than Steve Ramona here today with Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. We're going to be talking about the power of serving before selling. Steve, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me on. Now I know how to say your last name. I've been trying to figure it out. Now I've heard you say it because you never meet somebody and go, "Hey, what's your last name?" It's Damon. It's Damon. So see, I learned something already. Great podcast or great live.
There we go. Well, it's a challenge for some, that's for sure. Well, Steve, it's awesome to have you today. I mean, you are a self-named super connector. So tell me a bit about that. I mean, how does one become a super connector?
Mindset. The mindset of serving before selling, which is the title of this show. And I thought people were always doing it. Once I delved into this with my podcast and had that doing business with a servant's heart, people don't know how to do it. It's like I meet somebody and how do I serve them? Well, I said before the show, shut up and listen, and then ask. Ask a question, ask for a referral, ask for help, ask for resources. But you've got to listen. And I always use the Brady Bunch Zoom rooms in business meetings or networking meetings. And some of the screens go black. Now, maybe they're going to get a drink or whatever, and that's okay. But are they really listening when they're going to get a drink? Or are they shutting it off because they're going to talk to their wife? But they may have missed the 30 seconds to a minute of great subject that they can respond to and learn from or explore, especially in the one-on-one meetings. Everybody listening, me and you, Damon, talk. We all have them. That's how we met.
Yes.
So you shut up, you listen, and I did it with you. It was like, hey, you said something. I've got this company that wants to exit. Let me introduce you to them. Now, if I wouldn't have listened and heard what you do, and not just hear exit your way, but learn the details. But more importantly, your passion for what you do, the uniqueness of what you do. That allows me to go to that referral, that introduction, and go, hey, you got to talk to Damon. He's passionate about this. Would you like that referral? Or would you like, hey, got to be Damon, cool dude. Check it out. He can help you exit. Quite a different energy and serving and value that you're giving in those introductions.
Mm-hmm. It really is about getting to know who you're talking with.
Yep. And, the thing is, you don't have to know everything. And introverts ask me this all the time. I just worked with a guy on yesterday. Well, an introvert, I don't want to do one-on-ones. Well, you guys are the best because introverts are the best at asking questions like, how long have you been doing what you're doing, Damon? And just shutting up and listening. And once they get that, ding, 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 they're like, oh my God. And you don't have to respond with this big response. Like, okay, so I heard, Damon, that this is what you're looking for. I've got a couple people I can help you with. Well, you just provide value to Damon or to Joe or to Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what value looks like to me, and let's imagine this audience. When you're 6 years old, it's Christmas morning. What did you do? You ran to that Christmas tree, found the first gift, you opened it up, you were super excited. But you also gave a gift to your mom, to your dad, to your brother, to your sister. So you exchanged Christmas gifts. Have that feeling every day when you meet somebody by bringing them a resource, a tip, introduction, referral, whatever that may be. Edify them. You can always find somebody to edify. And this should be known. Be authentic, but don't just say, hey, Steve, that's a beautiful plant above you, even though it's virtual. It's not real. But, if it's not. But you can always find something of value for somebody, something to give them credit, positive energy. And here's the power of that. The unseen value is the universe. It loves that. Big. My universe changed last year, biggest year ever in my life, because I was out serving like crazy. I did 1,800 to 2,000 referrals last year. So that's about what, 200 a month?
Yeah.
150, 200 a month. But here's the cool thing when it comes to the universe, as I'm giving gifts, I also asked, which I haven't done before. So I give you a couple of referrals. I even asked you, Damon, hey, we went through all this and you gave me a referral or somebody to connect with. You asked me to be on your show. It's so fluid and so easy, but you've got to take the action to do it. Do I say, no, I'm not going to say anything. Okay, here's what I do. Hey, thanks for me, and move on. Because what's the worst? I know we've heard this a million times as kids, as business people. Is no. Well, I don't have anybody. It happened yesterday. They didn't have it. Hey, so that's no problem. Oh, you sure? You've just given me so many gifts. It's okay if you don't have any, but do me a favor. Keep it in your mind if you meet a professional athlete that's retired or a top business person. I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. Guess what? Today I got a referral.
Nice.
They didn't think about it, but I gave them value. They were super excited to meet with me. And audience, think about this. And this happens to me a lot. That's one of the best meetings I've ever had. Think about when you meet with somebody. I've made no transactions in any of these comments that I get back. I've made no money, but I made universe currency. I call it God's currency, where I've taken care of them. And it comes back.
I love that. I love that. Because, you know, it is interesting how that comes around and how you just keep building and you look at, you know, you can look at a lot of people that are famous and not necessarily for the reasons that we think. You look at a Mother Teresa, you look at some of these other people, there's a reason why they did what they did. And it was because they fills your heart and it fills your life. And the rest of it takes care of itself if we really do that.
You know, this is so great, Damon. You're such a great host. It's where people are thinking so transactional right away. And then I think transformational. Every call, every show I come on, how can I be the best? Transactional is your short road to success. Meaning I sell you today, Damon. We met today for the first time. We have not built a relationship. Now, maybe we do as you become a client, but a lot of times you don't, especially if you're selling a product or service that's, you know, a CRM or an AI tool or whatever, and you have hundreds, you know, thousands of clients. That's going to last months. So give me 10 people that are short road transactional. I keep them for 6 months. Give me 5 people. I built a relationship before they purchased from me. We've transacted. We have to transact. We talked about it. We have to. That's just part of the life. But how do you get there?
Yeah.
They stay for 2 to 3 years. 10 for 6 months, 5 for 2 to 3 years. And how many referrals are you going to get from the 10? And how many referrals are you going to get from the 5 that you've built a relationship?
Yes.
Now let's flip this too. When you build a relationship, they may not like you. Next. I don't mean that with not a heart. Next, meaning it wasn't a fit.
Yes.
I'm not going to worry about Tony Smith. He wasn't a fit for me. So I'm out and about meeting more people to see who's my next person that is going to want to work with me, pay me. I can bring value to. We have to keep that in mind. That goes with the no. It's just, you know, there's a book out there, Go for the Nose. I'm very public. I shouldn't, but I am. I'm not a fan of that. I know it's a lot of MLM book, but Go for the No is so negative. Oh, I want Damon to be no, Tony to be no, Jody to be no. No. I want to go for the yeses. It may not be yes buy-in from me. It may be yes joining my mastermind, but it's a yes of we're going to build a relationship together. And I'll tell you a story. Friday, you get an email. Thomas, I've talked to him in 20 weeks, 24 weeks. Hey, I got a referral for you. This girl will be great for you to meet. I think you guys have a great time. Think about that. 24 weeks, and I got a referral. So was I top of mind? I'm sure. Maybe he saw me on LinkedIn. Maybe it's something, whatever. And here's the greatest thing I love about this. I'm nothing special, but I'm special because I take action. Anybody can do this. But it's up in the noggin. It's that mindset of, do I run and bring value, or do I need to sell this person today because I got to pay my water bill tomorrow?
Yeah, and it's hard not to be transactional in the beginning for some people, right? I mean, especially if you're working for somebody, you know, there are definitely some pressures there. But I think you can work in the relationship building along with the transactional part of the beginning and move more into the relationships as you go on. But when you move to that transformational and really the serving aspect, as you say, you really don't have to sell at that point. It's really about, what can I help you with today? Is there anything that you could really help you with? What's going on? And because like you talk with so many people that you probably have talked to somebody recently that that could help Susan or Stan or Bill or whoever it is that you're talking with, and go, yeah, I think I got somebody. I think I can do that. And like you said, that universal currency of the world, or the universe, comes back around over time.
Yeah. The other mindset problem is transactional is easy. Hey, here's $100, Damon. Here's whatever, thousands of dollars. Help me exit my company. That's easy. In our mind, that's easy. I got some money, Zelle, cash, whatever way you got paid. Transformation, we don't know how, when, or where that's going to affect us. But I'll tell you a quick story. I met this gentleman at the chiropractor office. I was getting adjusted, and the guy I was talking about, by the way, everybody, give away your IP for free. I do a free podcast workshop every month, and I do a business mentoring every other Monday for free. The business mentoring, they can pay if they want, but if nobody's paid me yet, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's a big universe thing. But this gentleman stood up. I was talking about my business class. He's like, oh my God, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. Hey, my son is, he left his job and he's freaking out. I'm worried about him. Will you help him? I said, absolutely. Man, I just met this guy in 30 seconds. He's like, oh man, I'm Andre. I really appreciate you. What did I do? I said, we'd meet with him. I'm going to spend 20 minutes with him, but I could have changed this guy's life.
Yeah.
And I did, because he called me 2 weeks later. He's almost in tears. He's unhappy. He's like, I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. I'm, slipping into all this stuff he's telling me, which is amazing. When you bring value, people open up to you, which is good because you can learn more. I said, Tony, come to my class. It's next Monday. How much is it? I said, it's nothing. It's an hour. Give me an hour of your time and I'll teach you how to build a business. You can come every other Monday. He's like, seriously? I said, yeah. He goes, stops. And I know a pause is coming. There's emotion. He's like, Steve, you've given me hope for the first time in 6 months. Awesome. Super simple to do. Whether it's me or refer them to, you, Damon, or whoever, just give that person. And here's the crazy thing. I woke up the next morning, get up early at 5:30, and I'm checking things, and an email pops up, and somebody sent me $500. Don't know where it came from. I figured it out later because I didn't recognize the email, and it was a partnership I have, and somebody signed up for their service. I didn't know. So there's the show me when, how, or where does happen. Now, I don't count on that. I don't go, I didn't give you 12, 2 or 3 referrals, maybe more, whatever, and go, okay, please email me money. Come on, give me some, you don't do that because that's not how it works. You just keep moving through your day, serving.
Yes. Well, and that's a great example too, because so you talk about that person you helped, and you talk about, what really that means to their life. And it's funny you talk about this. I had an example of that earlier this spring. That was where we were able to help somebody, and I didn't realize how much it did until told somebody else. And I was like, oh my goodness. We don't know how these little acts can really help people.
We're so much alike. We're brothers from another mother. I use that phrase a lot, but seriously, it's great to hear it. We both would love to hear it more, but it's not important in our lives. We're not searching it. And I'll give you another, and here's a tip, audience. You're having a bad day. Contracts aren't being signed. People aren't showing up. I had 2 no-shows today. Kind of bummer when that happens because your schedule. Take off and find a way to serve. And I did that 2 years ago. And it was 2:00, couple no shows, a big contract was going to be signed. And they said, I'm going to delay it 6 months. I'm like, oh my God, could use the money. So, okay, I don't walk away at 2:00 unless me and my wife are going somewhere, doing something. And I went to the grocery store to buy groceries. And it's so vivid to me. I had this, when I'm staying in line to check out, I had this I call it the Holy Spirit of your faith, but just this feeling like I've got to buy this lady with a baby her groceries. I just want to serve her. So I tell the clerk, and it's funny, he's a long-haired guy, surfer dude, you can skateboard. Dude, what are you doing? Dude, that's crazy. I said, hey, can you do me a favor? I just want to do it. It's not a lot of money. It's $30, whatever. Doesn't matter. Finally, he did it. He's like, he kept shaking his head. Dude, you're crazy. Well, I check out, and we start walking out. And she thanks me, and she starts tearing up. Yeah. And I said, I didn't want to upset you. Go, no. I really, from bottom of my heart, appreciate that. And my baby does. She can't tell you. But you don't realize, last week, my husband lost his job. And this could have been our last $30 to buy groceries. It's a great thing that I did. Now, again, if you're a faith person, it's God that ran through me to do it. We never know, which is awesome. But here's the awesome thing. What is she going to do when she goes home? She's got these groceries. She's going to tell the story. Hey, this guy, like Steve, bought our groceries. He just had this. And what are they going to do? They're going to go out and share some type of service with somebody else. So this compounds like money.
Mm-hmm. The ripple effect is huge.
Ripple. Great word.
Yeah. It just goes out. And like you said, it doesn't matter who you help. When you can help somebody and they feel better, they're going to transmit that to other people that they're around. Yeah. Huge thing. And like you said, it's little things. I mean, even I find it brings me a lot of joy just smiling when I'm out walking my dog, because I see people coming down the trail or coming down the sidewalk and they look like their day could have been like hell, and I'm smiling because I'm like, I'm breathing and we're having a good time and it's good. And I just want to those little things, because you just don't know what's behind those eyes in that other person.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I got a call last Friday. A guy I was networking with died on his couch 2 days before, 40 years old, passed away. And I'm like, I'm 63. I'm like, my thought went right to there. How many more people can I serve? Because our life is not infinite. It's finite. Yes. So why not serve more, smile more? And here's another tip. You guys want to make more service, going to say a lot of money, because this will lead to money. Use cheat code. When you go to the grocery store, read the person's name. Hey, Tony, thank you for the groceries. You go to the restaurant. Hey, Debbie, thank you. Use their name. What a way to serve. And I'll tell you a quick story. I got so many stories. I hope you don't mind. So we're at a restaurant, and I like to go to, when a really good waiter is there, I like to grab their manager. And I love to see what happens. I go, hey, I think his name was Jonathan. I said, Jonathan, can you go get your manager? What's going on? Oh, not too much. Just tell her something, not so good. I don't know. Kind of playing a little game. Fun. It's not so fun for them. So I always watch an audience do this. It's amazing what happens. You'll see them talking and their hands start moving. So she comes walking over and says, sir, how can I help you? I said, what's your name? Oh, it's Jacqueline. Jacqueline, I want to say Jonathan was unbelievable. Our water was quick. The food was great. He's such a nice guy and is pleasant to be, all that. I asked her, how many times do you hear that? She's been there for 5 years. She's heard it 3 times in 5 years. Wow. That her waiters have done a good job.
Yeah.
But the next step is, I'm in San Francisco. The 49ers have Levi Stadium. She goes, do you guys go to Levi Stadium? I said, yeah, my wife's actually going to the Rolling Stone conference. She goes, here's my card. I work at the bar. I'll get you guys free drinks. It's that infinite loop of, and again, audience, here's the power of it. I didn't call her over to get something free, but it's that Christmas gift over and over that people want to give you something when you make them feel good, when you help them, when you support them. So
yes. And if we can get more people away from the transactional and into the transformational, like you said, it really does allow us to live a different life. Let's be honest.
Yep.
It does.
It's not all about the money either. It's not about what's in your bank account. It's great to have enough pay bills. all that, but that's the secondary thing. It's
Yes.
how many people you're serving is your mindset. You should be any dealings or conversations or anything you're working with people, your first thought should be, and my first thought is always, okay, I'm going to listen and what value can I bring?
Yeah. Well, and there's good and bad about social media. Hell, we're on several platforms now doing this, right? But as you said, money doesn't bring happiness. Now, a certain point of money, at a certain point, everybody needs some of it, right? You need some of it, and it doesn't hurt to have more of it, but it doesn't mean you're going to be happy, because there's a difference between what's in your heart and what's in your wallet. And if your heart is empty, your wallet's not going to make a difference.
It's just going to be empty money. And I'm excited to be a millionaire, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to be a millionaire because that abundance is going to allow me to help so many more people.
Yes.
It's and people look at me as like, well, cars, trodes. Yeah, I'd love to buy a private plane. I don't think I will. I might fly, first class instead of, yeah, those are but I'm also going to make sure that with my abundance, not only with money, comes all those resources. Because I work with millionaire and billionaires like you. You work with high-end companies. What kind of resources do they have? They have a ton. And the good companies give back. I know you've told me about some that you work with. That's exciting.
It is. And I tell you, that's what I enjoy most about people, that when you can work with people that understand the value of building something, so they can be more philanthropic with what they can do and have a greater impact. That's where you go, my goodness, these are the kind of people that I want to work with, because together we can do incredible things, and really make an impact on the world, just a little bit at a time.
Yep. Yeah. Think about lottery winners. Are they changing the world? I think not.
Not much. Well, it is the people that are around us every day too. It's the people that are going to the park and cleaning it up on the weekends. It's the people that are, coaching the girls basketball or helping out with the whatever events that they're helping out with at the schools or the community events. I mean, that's the real heroes of generosity around us.
That's all servant's heart. I serve coffee once or twice a month in my church.
Yeah.
It's the funnest time to be able to connect with people, and just be able, coffee is such a big thing in church because, especially when it's cold.
Yeah.
And it's such a little thing. And I did an interview for the church, and what they were so excited about was the fact that serving coffee leads to growth to the church, or leads to people closer to God. If your faith, that's powerful. But your other servants can be, like you said, going to a homeless shelter and feeding them, cleaning a park, doing an Alzheimer's walk. There's so many ways. You can actually search Google and to volunteer. I think it's called volunteer opportunity.
Yes.
And in your area, it'll pop up a lot. So there's always some way to serve.
Yes. If you're having trouble, that's a great point, because if you're having trouble figuring out how you can serve your community, there are a lot of places that you can go, and they will give you plenty of options. And it's not just writing checks. I mean, it's putting in time. It's putting an ear in on a phone or with a Zoom call with people, because there's so many people that have so much to give that they don't even realize they do.
Yeah. 8 to 5 at Apple or Google, you're paying your bills, bring your whole family, bring the kids and the wife and go serve. Yeah. I do a beautiful day at my church on October 12th and 13th. We're going to clean up a school. We're going to paint a mural and do things.
Nice.
It's a little bit of work for a weekend. I've spent not a lot of time, but an hour last night meeting. And today I'm going to meet again after this. But it's so, as you can see in your smile on your face, it's so rewarding.
Yes.
Because you're helping people.
Yes. It's such a wonderful feeling. So as you've been doing this, right? You're doing you're connecting people, you're help doing this. What are some of the things that, first of all, let's back up a little bit, because before we got on, you told an interesting story. Now, we I think we share this. We probably started out in our younger years as transactional more than transformational. So let's hear your story from a person we both know that helped you kind of change the way that you looked at this.
I've served people for 11 years, probably longer than that. But the last 11 years, I did $25 million in deals, and I made $10,000. I never asked, which I've learned to do because you build a network and stuff. But I was part of a digital business card company, and I got introduced to Donnie Bowman, and shout out to Donnie, great guy, awesome stuff. Yep. Talk about a servant's heart in networking, big time. And so we jumped on a call, and I started selling them right away. Hey, you need this digital business card. Imagine you're on everybody's phone, and started pitching them. And in 5 minutes, he said, "Stop! What the heck are you doing?" "Well, Donnie, you got this. I'm thought all about it. You got this big community. It'd be great to be able to have access to you." He goes, "How you don't even need this? You've never asked me one question." Shot me down a little bit, and I'm okay with that. It really made a difference to me because after the meeting, I really think about it. And interesting enough, he came on my podcast a year later, and that's all we talked about. So from that point with Donnie, I never pitched again unless somebody asked, "What do you do?" If they like what they do, then I'll say it costs this much, or let's jump on a call and I'll go over the costs. Mm-hmm. It happens all the time on LinkedIn. I had a guy just now reach out to me. "Hey, I can, produce your podcast. I could get you 1 million subscribers." I always say, "Are you making $1 million a year doing it?" "Oh, not yet." I said, "Then I don't. I only work with people," and I don't. But I just say that. But I get 2 or 3 of those a week.
Yes.
And now I'm getting emails. Same thing. And I've asked people, "Does it work?" "Well, I've got a couple of clients." "So you're going to work hard for weeks to get 2 clients?"
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, you wonder why the cold pitch or as Peyton just dropped a comment, pitch slapped.
Love it, Peyton. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for the comment, Peyton. It is one of those things that we do live in a world where automation makes it easy to just mass dump, BS out to people, hoping that somebody bites. Honestly, that's all it is. Yeah. But the interesting part about that, and I learned it from a different person. Jeff Graham helped me. I said that before, and not just trying to sell right away. For me, it was like I wouldn't ask for the sale, and I didn't know the process and the steps to do it. I just wanted to get to know people and keep asking questions, and I was like, okay, no, there has to be an end to this, dude. That doesn't just go like that. So I sold big accounts stuff for manufacturers for years. That's what I did. And that's kind of how you do that when you're selling somebody $20 million worth of stuff a year, right? Yeah. It takes a little bit more. But when you're really learn how to do it, there's a wonderful symphony or whatever you want to call it, play of getting to know people and really getting to understand what it is that they need help with, like you're saying, or what's going on with them, whatever, if you could be of value, and then getting to the point to where maybe it is something worth talking about.
Yep. And it's something people forget about. Here's 2 scenarios. One, do you want to sell this one guy or really pitch him and upset him, or get to know him and dive into his network?
Yes.
I've talked to people that a guy who's a realtor in San Diego, he introduced me Ivan Meisner to be on my podcast, founder of BNI. Mega influencer. Lee Steinberg, Jerry Maguire movie was built around him. He's Patrick Mahomes' agent. Somebody introduced me. I said, "Lee, I'd love to have you on my show." "I'd love to do it. Here, talk to my admin." Asking and treating people right, you just don't know their network. You want to be involved in that network. And here's the power of networking that I don't hear a lot is when I started networking, I was 18 years old at a health club my family started. And I worked the front desk and, "Hey, Damon, have a great workout. Hey, Damon, see you next week or see you Wednesday." And you have these conversations and you'd ask questions. "How'd the workout go?"
Yeah.
"Hey, Steve, let me ask you a question. Can we get more time?" Now you're building this dialogue and this symphony. I love that word. I'm not good with music, but this building of relationships. What all of a sudden, these people that are millionaires are starting at 19 years old, giving tips. And this one guy here is so powerful of it, of building relationships. He throws me a book. It says The Wealthy Barber. It's still around. He said, hey, kid, he used to call me kid, a little short Italian guy. Hey, kid, read that book and I'll follow up with you next week. All right, great. Have a good workout, Tony. He followed up the next week. I said, yeah, I read it. Basically, you're telling me take 10% of my income, put it in an account, don't touch it. A lot of advisors tell you, that's how you save. So I did it. He had left the club and 10 years go by, and I finally looked at the account. Now, keep in mind, this is 1979, 80. I was making $5 an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm making $200 a week, maybe. So what's that, $400, $800 a month? Well, when I got to that account 10 years, and I peeked at it once in a while, he had $68,000 at 28 years old in that account.
Yeah.
I forget that I won the lottery. But here's the powerful thing. I called Tony because I still had his number. We stayed connected, kept that relationship.
Yes.
And I said, Tony, there's this much money. Let me give you $1,000. That was your work. You advised me. I want to pay you. He goes, no. Here's why. Kid, when you took my advice, which a lot of millionaires and billionaires didn't, my universe changed. So I know somebody came into my world and probably made me a lot of money because you took action because of the gift I gave you. And you treated me so well during just on and on and on.
Yes.
And I went, holy crap, this is the power of networking. And then I extrapolated even further. So I left, we sold the Health Club in 2000. And one of the members in my network said, hey, I'm starting a restaurant. I wasn't working, watching Oprah, being stupid as a 28-year-old. And so I started working at the restaurant. What did I do? I took the Health Club network. And I told them all, hey, I'm at this restaurant. You come join me. In months, we were packed. Because I've built all these relationships. You're going to come see me. 20% of them kept coming back every week. And then that closed. And then 3 years later, I started a recycling company, electronics and all that. Now, this is my own company. Same thing now. I took the Health Club network, and now I've built a restaurant network. Combine them together and send an email out or talk to people. Hey, I'm doing electronic recycling. We'll come pick up your stuff for free. We got paid by the state. Next thing I know, I had 150, 200,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
I never had that much money in the bank. It was like crazy. So I'm learning in audience. This is a big tip. This is the power of a network. You can carry along with every opportunity, every resource, every philanthropic thing you do. When you build that great relationship, years later, people are still going to come see you because they like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's so powerful. Like you said, those people, they can help you in the future. You're helping them. They're helping you. And it really becomes a wonderful thing. And it's not, like you said, it's not because you're at a certain business or doing a certain thing. It's because they like you. You built a relationship. And if it's like, yeah, Damon, I do need that recycling. I was just looking at some stuff. I got to do it. What do I need to do? That's the kind of thing that happens. There's so many other things can happen like that.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's exactly what happened. I get emails. Hey, let me check my garage. But then they tell their neighbor.
Yeah.
They go to church and tell their church, hey, this guy, Steve, I used to see at the Health Club. Hey, he's doing recycling. And that was all the marketing I did. I did no ads.
Yes.
I did referral marketing. I didn't really, and the scary part and probably the funny part is I didn't know I was doing it, Damon. I'm just reaching out to people. Now I know, but it's like, that's the secret sauce I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I took action because
yes.
I believe indecisiveness in business is just as bad as COVID did to us. And we've talked about that. It's make a decision. You can always pivot. You can always, it's wrong. Go a different road. But maybe Damon, maybe I will, maybe I won't. And especially what you do, exiting your bill. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to exit. Let me wait a couple of years. And next, 10 years go by and they probably could have, great things could have happened. And maybe it's too late or the business dies or whatever.
That's it. I mean, it happens a lot. There's a lot of good and a lot of bad. I mean, you can look at the economic cycles we've had. And when you go back to the time, going into COVID, right? So before COVID, people could have had a business that was very valuable, ready to sell. COVID hits, reset. Even if well, we did this with several of the businesses we were marketing at the time. It's like, listen, you got this gap in time where nobody knew anything and nobody had any sales. We just don't count that, right? And the market adjusted to that. But when you look back and you look through other economic cycles, like the real estate crisis, there were people that were in construction that if they would have not been greedy and sold in 2007 or whatever, when their businesses were ready, if they would have been ready and ready to sell, rather than going, wow, it's just going so good, I can't do it, I can't go now. Well, the next person doesn't want it when it's a crappy time, right? They just don't. So you really need to understand these kind of things, and when you're doing them for that, because it's so, I kind of get off on a tangent on this because it is so important to really understand. And I think this is where, like we said before, when your money is important, but when it gets too important, it will drive bad decisions.
Great. I love that. It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. I got covered. I can wait. I got covered. I got 10 million in the bank.
Yeah.
2 years later, 3 years later, there's nothing in the bank. And
yep.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you succeed. Yeah. And then sometimes you see and you got 100 million in the bank, but it's all about probabilities.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. Well, we got Peyton. He said in here, the relationship is not something you can just bluff your way into. AI and pitching skips the human connection, get to know the pain points over time, and eventually know if you fit. That is how it's done. And you've heard the AI bots, you've listened to them, seen the text that comes out of them, and I don't know. It could over time get reasonable, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. And thank you, Peyton. That's a great comment.
Yeah.
There's a place for AI, but it's not with the human connection. That's exactly what you said. But I actually met with a gentleman that worked with the 3 scientists that started the internet back in '96.
Nice.
Same thing, AI. I mean, he said, this is the same thing. It's just now the internet. Internet can be good, or social media can be good. It can be bad. We have the black internet or the whatever, the deep dark internet, whatever.
Yeah.
So everything has good and bad. We just, like Peyton said, we've got to be aware of it.
Yes.
And don't let AI speak for me. That's not authentic.
Mm-hmm.
But using AI for other things, we don't need to get into that. Is
there's wonderful things that can help you
Yeah.
with. Wonderful things that can help you with. It's a wonderful tool, and if you use it appropriately, it can help you be more efficient. I mean, we have to do that. Look at what it can do to help you be a better writer if I'm in a business setting, or if I need to review a contract or something, and I just go, okay, what do you think? It'll give you 2 or 3 ideas that you go, well, did you consider this? Did you consider that? I mean, just the power of that, or even, there's just so many different ways. So the hard, though, like you said, is, and I don't think you will be able to replace it, is the human to human connection that we have.
Never.
Because it's just, I mean, the experience we bring from years of life, and that experience that was gained across there is just, I don't know how it will happen. But
well, what do we learn with COVID? Isolation almost destroyed this country, destroyed the world. If it had kept lying, people are like, wow, it's a little. It could have, because, and it's crazy. My wife works at Trader Joe's. There were people coming in, ladies coming in 2 years later, hadn't left their homes. They left their home the first time in like 2023. But for 2 years, they would just order in. They never left their home. Not good for seniors. Not good for anybody.
No, it's not. It's not healthy.
No, Peyton, like Peyton said, the human connection, those 2 words are huge.
Yes.
But as he said, when we're pitch slapping people, that's not a human connection.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to meet you in person and slap you and go, hey, great to see you. I'm going to hug you or shake your hand.
Yes.
So you kind of look at it that way. It becomes so much more aware.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and Peyton had one last comment here. He said, I'm still understanding the power of network. And I tell you, that is when you really realize the power of building relationships with people. And like you said before, not everybody's going to be, you're not going to, everyone you meet is not going to be someone you go, wow, I really want to get to know them better. It's going to be, one out of whatever. And that's the way it is. And some are and some aren't. But that the power of that network, whether it's I'm feeling down today or whether it's I need some help doing something, is incredible.
Yeah. Here's a tip, Peyton, to help you and help anybody else out there. Every business I mentor that's looking for leads and building their network, meet 10 to 15 new people every week. So starting next Monday, look on your calendar as your Bible. Are you meeting 10 or 15 new people? And that includes another great tip I share people. Go through your calendar for the last year. Look at every single appointment. Oh, I met Damon. It's Luca. I'm not going to say your name. I met Damon. Great conversation. I haven't talked to him in 6 months. Hey, Damon, it's been a while. When you got a chance, let's follow up. Let's see what we're doing. Let's see how we can support each other. As simple as that. You meet the 10 to 15, go through LinkedIn, go through your calendar, and here's a powerful tool, the third one. I met this gentleman 3 years ago, young guy, 27. I think I told you this story, and started telling me about his Flipping Home program course. Well, that's actually 5 years ago. God, I'm getting old. I said, how you doing with this program? You know, everybody's flipping home. He goes, Steve, I'm making $1 million a month in income. I went, whoa, what? I was like 58, 57. I'm like, okay, I'm 57. Let's talk. What are you doing? He said, Steve, all I did to market my businesses, I had 1,000 people on my phone, contact list on my phone. I reached out to every one of them and said, do you know anybody who's interested in flipping homes? I'd love an intro. They came in like wildfire. Why? Because those people in your contact list, most of them like you. You like them because you've interacted with them multiple times. Who are more willing to help you? Your family and your friends.
Yes.
And your business friends. So use that content. Whether you got 100 or 10. I have 4,800. No, 5,800. I reached out to all of them. I've got this podcast. I got 4,000 in my newsletter now. And people every week seeing my new podcast. And, you know, I've got 9,800 subscribers, partly because I did that. So I know it works.
Yes, it does. It definitely does. And that follow-up and just seeing how people are doing is so key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So key. It's simple. And if somebody says not interested, next.
Yeah.
I all in my head all the time, next. And here's the power of networking, Peyton, and everybody listening. It just happened before I got on this show. I had a meeting before this, and the guy wasn't showing up. And I always wait 10 minutes. I'm courtesy. And I just about hit the leave, and he popped up. Very honest. I didn't ridicule him. I know people, I've done that. I've been late, and like, oh, you should never be late. And I'm like, okay, don't preach. Let's just move forward. He apologized. I said, no problem. What I did for the next 10 minutes was exactly what I just did. Contact list. I walked him through LinkedIn, how to connect. He's a brand new business. He needs more leads. And he was going to go out and buy a lead gen. You can find millions of people online. There's no reason to buy scrapers and, those different types of lead magnets or lead gens or hire a company. Plus, they don't work anyways. You meet 100 people, one's going to buy from you. How long is it going to take you to meet 100 people? Well, it's 10 a week. That's 10 weeks. That's 2.5 months. You got one client. You got bills to pay in those 2.5 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's where it is again. It's really to understand the power of serving people, getting to know them and building those relationships over time, because then when you do have something coming along, it makes a huge difference. Just makes a huge difference.
It does. I mean, I'm going to go big time. What's happened to me is meeting millionaires and billionaires for the first time are coming to me because of the value I brought to people. But I'm being asked to speak now. I've never spoken in my life to a crowd. November, I got asked to speak to 20,000 people in South America. More shows like that. I've been on 50 shows like this. And I'm patting myself on the back a little bit. But Peyton and anybody else that, if you haven't commented, who's listening, you all can do that.
Yes.
But it's building that network who's going to get you to the billionaire, get you to the speaking gig, get you to the podcast host, get you on Damon's Live, whatever it may be. So that network is your core. And the branches of the speaking, you start your own podcast. I have a TV show, be on my TV show. Start a community, start another opportunity. It all comes from that network. That's your core. I say every day you need to spend time building that network. Calendar, contact list, LinkedIn, whatever it may be. That's why if you try to go for 10, 15 new people during the week, you're going to reach out to people or meet people or get referrals. And I'll leave with this. I want you to tell me how you feel, audience, if you want to type in the chat. If you got 3 to 10 referrals daily, now I've received that for 18 months, and I'm not bragging here, but I've got such a network of people. And I told you, I want to 6 months, 6, 10, 20 weeks later, I got you. And that happens fairly often too. It's a game changer because it's more people I get to meet, more people I can partner up with, more people be guests on my podcast. For what I'm offering, it doesn't change for what you're offering, Damon, what Peyton's offering, whoever else is listening. It's all the same. It's just a different route. That's all.
Yes. Well, and I mean, how many people can say that referrals are a worse path to business than cold outreach? I mean, it's just not, there's no comparison. I mean, a lot of times, honestly, if people really know you, the referral is just means you're going to do work with them. You're going to work with them because they know you well enough that, you know, if you've worked with somebody else and they're referring you and they're happy with what you did already, don't screw it up, because that's really the only way you're not going to do it. Yeah, they've likely, if they know each other well, they'll know how much you cost, what happened, they're going to get a lot of questions answered from their friends and other people before that. So
absolutely,
yeah. And Peyton said 3 to 10 referrals would change my business. Yeah,
thank you, Peyton. Yeah, and that's why the best year last year that I've ever had. It's because I'm meeting all these folks. Not only I'm putting out and I'm receiving. It's just fun. I mean, I could look at my calendar right now. I bet you I have a referral. And I do. Yeah. Somebody just referred me to somebody.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And I say that because, again, I want to keep going back. Sometimes when I say it, I don't feel like I got this ego, but anybody can do it. I'm not special. Now, people call me super connected. That's why I use that moniker, or that I'm special. And I appreciate that. And what I did at the grocery store was probably something special. But again, it doesn't mean I cannot help a company exit their business. I cannot. I don't have the expertise. Yeah. I'm just not going to be able to do it. That's your expertise. Networking is my expertise. But this service thing, you don't need to be an expert at it. Just need to do it.
Yeah. Yep. That's for sure. Someone asked me today, and I don't talk about how many followers I have on LinkedIn because I don't think it really matters to me. It is just getting up and prioritizing what you do. And if what you do and you're special in the way you do it and how you do it, that's what it's about. Get up. If you really want to build your network, go ahead and do it, but put in the work, do it consistently, do it over time, service before selling, just like you're saying, help people, and it will come around.
Yeah. I met a gentleman, and we're ending in 2022, another referral, asked about his business, manufacturing, 250 million he did in sales. Bobby, company I need to retrieve. I got to figure it out. See, I'm thinking serving you already. I think a referral. But I said, okay, Jim, how'd you do that? Yeah. And the first time I've really met somebody who's done really well, because it was 2 years ago. He says, Steve, I wake up in the morning, because that's what reminded me. I wake up in the morning, who am I going to serve today? I go to bed, think about who I'm going to serve. Do I serve my collaborators, which means competitors? Do I serve my employees? How do I serve my board? How do I serve everybody? How do I bring them value? That's why I made 250 million. Yeah. I'm like, okay, there's something to this.
It really is. It really is. Well, Steve, it's been a pleasure to have you on today. It's so love talking about the power of serving before selling. You are truly a connector, a wonderful person to get to know, and you're helping a lot of people.
Great show. You're a great host. I thank you so much.
Thanks for being here today. I want to say, Peyton, thanks so much for the awesome comments. Those of you that weren't didn't drop a comment in there, but were listening or got in late, go back to the beginning because Steve dropped a bunch of great information there. So, Steve, if someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to find you?
LinkedIn, Steve Ramona. Search me there. I'm always on there. Or I have a digital business card, infone.co/podcast. infone.co/the-word-podcast.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Steve, thanks for being here today. Hang out for just a moment. We will finish up offline. Thanks, everyone, for being here. We will be back again later.